Good morning, good morning. Let me get this good and going. Getting that 8 o'clock bell. So this morning I've seen a couple of low floats come up. I kind of checked into them. We'll go over that in just a minute. Grab some of this. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, so starting off today is the 19th. It's a nice Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. We're seeing, let's see what's going on for the 19th. We have it's FOMC meetings, or FOMC minutes, meeting of January 28th through 29th. I guess they're going to do a recap of that. We also have a speech by Vice Chair Philip N. Jefferson on the household balance sheets at Vassar College, right in New York. So we got a speech today later on this afternoon, but that's going to probably be after the market closes. So I don't know how much that's going to affect anything. Let's go over here to the scans. So this is what I picked up. Good morning, Donnell. This is what I picked up. And let me make sure my volume is nice and crisp. Okay, yep. So this I've seen SINT, TRNR, SMCI, and MGOL are the things that, and when I'm trading, I like liquidity. I like to see something that is getting some high volume. So usually I'm looking for things that are getting around 10 million shares traded, especially out of pre-market, just to see, why are people interested over here? Why are people, doing buying, selling, and touching this specific stop? So these four have reached that level. The other thing that I'm looking for is the ATR. Now, yesterday, or let's see, when was that? One of these days, I traded a penny stock, little penny stock, but it had some crazy. It did not have the ATR that I like, but it did have the relative volume. Yesterday, I ended up trading EFOI. Let's look at that real quick. So EFOI. So I saw this little trend coming, and this one had a crazy amount of relative volume. The relative volume on this one, when I saw it, was at 5,000 times a normal day. And I was like, okay, I likes that. And so I started looking at where it had been up here to 268, 250-ish in its pre-market. It had paddled down here to about 168, came up to the ATR high, failed. And this was around 10:30, so I actually took a break from 10:30 and I came back around right around 12:30ish when I saw this move, and I was like, man, should I take this trade? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait for it to do a pullback above the ATR high. It did the pullback and crashed all the way back. And let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can't see this. Crashed all the way back through the ATR high that was at that 212, 211 area. And all of this I put in the Discord. If you're in the Discord, I'm looking at the ATR, looking when it starts to actually hold above this. And then came down here and started to test the $2 again. Now, at this point, it has done this slam 3 times in a day. 1, 2, 3, failing this high break. And so I was like, okay, I think that this thing can go ahead and break through. It had about 6 or 7,000 in the relative volume, which is 6 or 7,000 times what it will actually be doing during a normal day. So I knew people were interested, and I knew shorts were here. And I took a few shares at 205, came up there testing. My out was 190. So this last little bounce up spot right here, 190 was my out. It never did bounce back down there. And so I continued to add, continued to add. It broke, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then it slammed back down. I was like, all right, well, if it slams down and breaks two, I'll be out. It did not pop back up over the ATR high, and boom, started going up. And I was in, and I was just in for the ride up into the 250 was my target area, because I was looking back here on the pre-market. 260, 250 area was where I was selling. And then in the aftermarket, it did go higher, but I was like, okay, I just took mine and then got on out. Traded, and I didn't know if it was going to blast down from this level or what, because it was a weak ticker, or not a weak ticker, but it was the overall idea of the company didn't support a move that would just continue. It was like furnishings and furniture and all this stuff, and I was like, that's cool, but their relative volume, somebody is trapped here. Somebody does not want this thing to do a move like this, and it did. So that's what we were in for on yesterday. But today we got SINT, we got TRNR, and I'm not seeing anything else pop up here just yet. Once they start passing that 10 million mark, that's when I get interested. I'm like, all right, now you got liquidity. I know I can get in and out. Pretty much I can get in and out anyway, because I'm doing multiple entries. I'm not just doing a one and done. Usually, sometimes I do a one and done. If I really like an area, I'll say, okay, I'll take 1,000 shares here. If it doesn't go, I'll risk 10 cents, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Getting a starter position at a better price, and then adding to that starter position. That's the that's the best way that I've seen to do it, because you're already in the green, but you're adding and you're just slightly adjusting your average, you know, which is what I was doing on EFOI. Got in there, just looking for that break, started the break, added a little bit more, add a little bit more, and then once it took off, I just stopped adding. I was like, yeah, I'm not adding anymore. Today though, SINT up 79%. The news on it says SINTX receives issuance of U.S. patent for silicon nitride functionalized zirconia, toughened alumina ceramic biomaterial. Now, the keywords that I saw here, it's a patent. So, the U.S. hands out patents all the time. It was founded it's a Utah-based company in 1996. And then for TRNR, that is Interactive Strength Inc., TRNR increases 2025 expectations to more than 50 million in pro forma revenues. And the keywords I got from that is expectations. I do not like that word. And then it was incorporated in Texas, 2017. So yeah, I'm not super bullish on that one. And if you look at the chart, you can see other people wasn't super bullish on it either. With this walk down, it did this little sky touch from 111 all the way up here to 242, and has just been walking down ever since. And you just got to look at this like, okay, well, oh, another thing I've been doing. Well, let me finish that thought. So I'm seeing huge sellers almost take out this whole, it took out half of this big bar, right? 131 up to 227. Huge sellers coming in here pushing it down. And so back in here, it is under that halfway mark. Maybe it'll pop up a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if the risk is worth it on that one, especially with the expectations word in there. The other thing that I was about to say was I've started to kind of notate when these moves start. As far as like, did it start in the aftermarket? Did it start like yesterday in aftermarket? Did it start, during pre-market? And are these moves extended, right? And so I've started to categorize. Let me jump back over here. So pre-market tickers are SINT, TRNR, and then I'm going to have a whole nother section for intraday tickers. So what is actually starting to move during the intraday, if anything does, right? Because SINT, TRN, looks like they've had their excitement during pre-market. this big move, and then now volume is kind of drying up. And TRNR is only up 35%. So with it being that cheap, only up 35%, it's not that interesting anyway, even with 18 million shares. This one, SINT, moved from 292. Now it hasn't given back as much. So plenty of motion in there. Let's see. From 5 o'clock this morning, ramped up all the way up here to 543. Apparently I've watched this one before because I had already levels down here, but those levels are irrelevant now for day trading. But yeah, had a little crush point up here at the 544s, and we'll see if it will get going down or what. Anyway, hopefully you guys have been having a good week. Let's actually look at the larger time frames on SINT. So jumping over here to our daily chart, you see SINT has been getting quite a bit of a beat down. It has days where it does these pops and drops. And last time it was up to what, 543 back here. Okay, and it looks like it hit. So basically 543 was part of this crush point. We see this big red day, and now it's back up here with weak catalyst. So we'll see what it wants to do on the open. Now it has 32 million shares traded, so it is leading the day in the volume area with the ATR of at least 20 cents. We'll see. And my other scan, actually, let's go ahead and close this. So this is the NQ. I always keep the NQ up to see if it is showing strength or weakness or what is it doing. For these last 2 days, it looks like it played above the ATR, crashed it, played above the ATR again, and came back down. So I'm wondering, usually when things are below the ATR, it's either in consolidation or it's making a further move downward to break some low. So like this low would be 22. Let me make this bigger. This low down here would be 22,100. Okay. And so maybe since it's breaking down his ATR and has hit his head a couple times up here above it, maybe this will be a downwards move on the day, but we'll have to see. We don't have enough information to confirm that, really. That would just be kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is going to happen. All right, let's jump back to SINT. And I also have my other charts. So this is the 30-minute, the hour, the 2-hour, and the 4-hour. And I'm looking, well, on the open, these will be showing specific ATRs based on their last 14 bars. So you'll have a different ATR. And then what I'm looking for is alignment. When all of them say, okay, well, the ATR, all of them are showing the same number. It's pretty set in stone. This is where the majority of the trades have been. And I'm looking for it to start to move upward away from that number, whatever it is. It may be $2.11, maybe, $5 and something, but I'm looking for a chart alignment to tell me, hey, this is where the majority of people are, and this could be an attack point. And then also the point of control. So the point of control usually doesn't become the same because they're just different. Like the last 14 bars on a 4-hour is way different from the last 14 bars on a 30-minute, hour, or 2-hour. So those calculations kind of never align, but yeah, it's kind of gives you an idea of a range of where things are. Anyway, SINT point of control right now is 510 on the 15-minute. So basically it's 595 over here on the other ones. So on the 4-hour, 590 or 499, 495, 495, 495, 510 on the 30 minutes, and then 510 on the 15 minutes. So it's got a little range between 495. Where's 495? Right here, and 510. So it's going to have to make a decision, and we'll see the ATRs in about 15 minutes. TRNR, I might put that on a no trade because it's just, it doesn't even look worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and come over here, and maybe, no, it's probably not gonna do it because it's got a bunch of keywords that make people not want to trade it. End of the day yesterday, EFOI ended with 9,100 times its net relative volume. I mean, just a great move into the end of the day. So no trade tickers. I'm gonna go ahead and place TRNR in there. And I don't even need to really have it up here. I'll just keep cent in there. And we'll see what kind of intraday tickers pop up here. Okay. Donnell called out JTAI, 5 million volume watching. Let's see JTAI. Is it fighting? Let's see. JTAI. Whoa, that just get out. Okay, so it's up 43%. It has 6 million shares traded on it, so it is coming up the board, but hasn't hit that nice sweet 10 million yet. It is a low float, so it would be coming onto my scans here shortly. Probably in the next 15 minutes, it'll be popping up on the scans. But you know, I usually don't see these until they hit 10 million because it's got. Let me see where's ATR. It's got the ATR I like. Got the shares, got all of that. So yeah, it would be popping up soon once it hits 10 million. But let's go ahead and look into it and see why it's moving. JTAI. I think we've seen this one before. Okay, so 48 minutes ago, it's a annual letter to shareholders from aviation divestiture to AI data center investment. Okay. So they did an acquisition like a week ago. Fly Exclusive reaches definitive agreement to acquire Jet AI aviation business. So they're getting bought out on JTAI. Flight Tech reaches, that's the same news. They just regained compliance with NASDAQ on November 27th last year. So I don't know if they're struggling or not, but we'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. It's up 45% right now, but it has not met the criteria. So I'm just gonna leave it as if it gets to 10 million by the open, then it'll be a pre-market mover. But or as not right now, I'm just like, I don't know. All right, let's jump over here to larger time frames and see JTAI over here on the daily. It has kind of a chart, kind of like the last one we looked at, SINT. Let's see, so JTAI, what price is it at now? 629. So it is somewhere right above this level. Interesting. So it's going to open up green up here. So it had a big push down, went red, and popped back up here to the 620 level. It moved from, looks like 405 up here to 625. But definitely some weaker news on it. I wanted to actually reach that 10 million before I start to plug it, but it's got 2 million shares, 2 million shares to go to reach 10. It looks good, but we'll see. See what that relative volume is talking about. Four thirty, 431. We got about 9 minutes left to the bell. SMCI up 6% with 14 million shares traded. So these, once it passes these in volume, that's what I kind of look for. Whatever is up there, like MGOL and SMCI, I want to see it become a top contender on the day and start pushing things off of this list. You know, but right now it's not even on the list. SINT has really dried up in volume, barely getting 100 shares traded every couple of seconds. So that's not good. We like to see those thousands rolling in, 10,000, 100,000 position, 100,000 share positions, keeping that number rolling. All right, it's about to hit 9 million. One million shares left to go. Let's see what happens coming into this 10 million mark. It has a point of control down here at 514, where the majority of the trading has happened. Had a high point up here at right under 650. Six minutes left. It still hasn't hit 10 million. SINT moving up. Let's see what this one's doing. So 522. It's still kind of within what it's been doing. Okay, breaking that a little bit. SINT 543 was that previous point where it got slammed during pre-market that it's trying to get up to. JTAI is still just slowly coming up. It's got 500,000 shares to go. JTAI 2, you said on the 14th, MA News, 100 million traded, ticker extended now, needs to pull back. Yeah, it definitely needs to pull back. SINT hitting his head a little bit. JTAI coming into that 10 million shares traded, and we're seeing a nice topping tail. So you have to be careful with this. And this is why I wait. One, I want to see liquidity, but I don't want to see like shorts being in control with the liquidity. You know what I mean? Like if they are in control, what I want to see is multiple times they try to push it down and fail. I want to see big moves down. They just step onto it and try to make it fail and then get that pop. But the only other thing is it's got to hold up the ATR high. If it's not around or, going towards that ATR high, if it's going lower, it's like, well, that is looking like it's going towards the floor. So I just leave it alone. Got about 4 minutes to the, or less than 4 minutes to the bell. SINT went up there and touched that previous point at 543. Don't know where this ATR is going to end up popping out. $400 million shares, or 400 shares to go. 400,000 shares to go. I mean, come on, man. Be acting weird. Yeah, so right now, I haven't identified anything that's just super interesting that I'd be like, oh man, gotta trade this. Right now, it's just like, okay. JTAI about to close this candle in about a minute 30 seconds. With this topping tail, it has a whole lot of reason to go down and still hasn't hit 10 million. $200,000 shares to go. Boy, by the time it hits 10 million, it might look like it's going down, huh? TRNR just in consolidation. SMCI not doing much either. MGOL, a little cheap one. NASDAQ, what you got going? Yeah, so it is continuing to try to, looking like it's kind of grinding lower under this ATR high with the NASDAQ. But looks can be deceiving. We got to see what the real sentiment is. We got 30 seconds into the open. I'm gonna, oh my gosh. Wait, what? JTAI, I don't know what is going on, but I just saw $4 on that thing. I was like, did it drop that much? But TOS is tripping. That's all. All right, so JTAI still has not hit 10 million. It has 100,000 shares to go. Cent is looking, even though it has weaker news, it's looking better than JTI AI. All right, there's the open on Cent. ATR high up here is 565. Let's jump over to JTAI. JTAI ATR high is 608. Not looking so good now. So we'll see what Cent wants to do if it wants to test up there. It may hit his head up there on the 566s, but we'll see. Small touch at that 543. Has that space up to the ATR high and then a fail back down. So we'll see if it does that. Okay, or maybe it just wants to go down. All right, touch the point of control right there at the 510 level. Doesn't want to crash that out, or doesn't want to get back going up towards 530, 542, and then 565. Hit his head and then come back down. JTAI, let's flip back over there. It is broken the low. The point of control there was 573. It just hit 10 million shares, and this will be one that I would avoid because yeah, it's got a lot of work to do to get back up here to ATR high, especially behind this big topping tail. All right, back over here to SINT, up 80%. It has a relative volume 155 times the normal. JTAI, look at its relative volume. Relative volume on JTAI 3.77. Trash. So that one is looking very questionable. Coming up, trying to bump his head on ATR high. So there's ATR high touch. Let's see the slam, the slammage. ATR touch, and go ahead and fail this 510 level for us. There we go. Go ahead and take it all the way red, baby. All the way. Take it all the way, just like that. So that's why we don't do those. All right, so over to SINT. So this one has the potential to break this 543 level if it can hold up here, and possibly go up here and test the 566. But potential, you know, like I said, it just got a patent. It's been trading since 1996, but it has that potential. So at this point, you know, $5 could be your backstop. That's a 20-cent drop. Looking for it to get through 544. Now for me, I want to see it above this ATR high, above this 566 level, and give a nice pullback into this level. But I don't know if it has the strength to do all that. All right, so there is the test of 543. Can we get the test up to ATR high? 566. All right, slight test at 543. It's not able to do anything else. That was a big bounce down, and that is showing a little bit of weakness at that point of control. Point of control still at 510. Can it reclaim 510 and try again to go up? Needs to hold 510 though. TRNR trash. SMCI went down here to 57. Come back up. So 59.99 is, or actually 60.02 is ATR high right now. Need to get above that to show us that it wants to go up. Let's look at the NQ. NQ, like I said, showing some more of that movement down under this ATR high, but a couple wicks to the downside, but making lower high or lower lows. SINT did not get up there to the ATR high. TRNR again did not break ATR high. Oh well, better safe than sorry, right? TRNR looking like a indecision candle that is forming here right at that point of control. Point of control is 166 right now. And it is the only one that looks like it may have some life left, but it's gonna have to break. And if it does break, what I would hate is a huge snap down. Okay, so JTAI, we know that went down. Nvidia just popped on. So we got a couple hitting the 10 million mark now. So RSLS, Nvidia coming up. If they take out JTAI, you know, it's just gonna fade down, because usually when the large caps are getting more attention than the small caps, there's a reason for that. It's not enough excitement, and Nvidia and RSLS are probably doing something. Or actually, RSLS is a low float. Now look at it; it's got 3 million shares, up 30%. So let's look at this one, RSLS. What are you? RSLS. Whoop, wrong thing. RSLS. Why do I keep hitting A? What are you? You're only up 30% right now. 10 million shares traded. And okay, I don't know why that's not opening. Let's go somewhere else. All right, let's see what we got here. RSLS profile. It's a little low float with 10 million shares on the dot. Reshape Life Sciences provides products and services that manages and treat obesity and metabolic diseases in the United States, Australia, Europe, and internationally. Okay, so this is obesity. It was incorporated in 2002 and is headquartered in Irvine, California. Irvine, California. Go to statistics. The float is under a million. Insiders and institutions, not a huge difference there. Okay, but the Reshape popping up there. We'll see what Reshape wants to do. RSLS coming up and starting to crack over. But the problem is, look at this pattern that's already here. It needs to break this pattern. This pattern already looks kind of suspect. As far as the relative volume on this one, relative volume on RSLS is 64 times the norm. Let's see, JTAI is just now getting 5 times the norm. SINT going down, but had 175 its norm. So I like to see things going up to be a part of. SINT is definitely not going up. SMCI coming up here, and we looked at this earlier. Coming into this $60 level ATR high, it's starting to be more attractive than the low floats on the day. So I don't like a large cap being more attractive than the low floats. It has 36 million, so it is above TRNR and it is above JTAI. TRNR coming up there. But yeah, some competitors starting to wipe out the low floats. Large caps, Nvidia, SMCI, big names. Nvidia snapping back a little bit there. JTAI just kind of losing itself. TRNR is breaking over ATR high, but this is kind of a funky like pattern here. Want to see it hold above this 186 level. So it's got the ATR high at 186. If it crashes below that, then well, it's not going to look too pretty. SINT going on down. SMCI looking like it wants to break this high level here. Let's look at the NQ. NQ, did it bounce? Nope, still going down. Okay, so we know some of these things like Nvidia and some of those that follow the overall market are doing what the overall market is doing, going down. RSLS, great. TRNR, I'm not gonna touch that one. I'd rather get something a little bit better than that. Hasn't proven that it can hold over the ATR. I would be waiting for a pullback. TRNR is added to the low floats. Okay. So just got a message, and see the way my messages are set up, they'll do a pop up here, but they'll also send me a text. So if I'm just out doing something, I see something pop on the low floats, I'm like, okay, well, I know it's meeting the volume and the relative volume that I like. I know that it has a percent change that is uh, at least over 10%, and it has a pretty good relative volume. But is this something that I want to be a part of? I haven't seen it retest this level of 86 yet. It'll probably do it on the close of this candle in 5 minutes. RSLS, the one that we just looked at, that's a low float. It is getting on up there, but again, it's going to have to prove that it can hold this 143. Start holding it. If it crashes it, I mean, it's got room down to 131. Maybe it needs to do some retesting or whatnot, but looking at the daily chart, let's look at the daily chart on RSLS. Daily chart RSLS, we're seeing that it had a gap down from 229 down here to almost $1, and is coming in back into this gap, but not filling the gap at all. It's got to get all the way up to 235 to fill that gap. So I don't like the daily chart on this one. It's already in a very strong downtrend, so I'm thinking sellers could come in heavy on that one. Okay. SMCI gets smacked in the mouth. NQ probably, yeah. So things are reacting to the NQ continuing to go down. SMCI, like I said, but SMCI has the most volume. It has 42 million shares traded. TRNR got slapped in the mouth. Like I said, the ATR high failed back under that 186. JTAI, it would need to get over 615 to actually be interesting. But it is holding green there on JTAI. But it's just not confirming that it wants to get over that level. All right, RSLS. Anyway, so basically you already see what I'm looking at. There are a couple of small caps up here, but they're kind of getting slapped up by some larger caps. So I'll definitely be careful and watch what the volume is looking like rather than what all of the percentage gains are looking like. Where is the attention going? The attention right now is SMCI. And SINT, which is failing, is the only small cap that's pretty close to it. The other ones only have half of the volume there. So I'm not too sure about those. Plus, we're probably gonna get some more contenders as the day goes on that'll get over 10 million. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking at. RSLS continuing to pump up there, but only 10 cents off of its ATR. So from 143 up to 155, 53-ish level. So 10 cents, not too worth it. Not too worth it. JTAI is just looking like it's going to be a chop factory. If it closes this candle like this with these big wicks, it's looking like it's going to be a chop factory. Nvidia eating dirt. What is NQ doing? About to eat dirt. But Nvidia is definitely eating dirt right now. All right, so not seeing anything that's super interesting. I'll probably come back after this morning meeting that I need to get to right now. And not come back and stream, but I'll be in the Discord if I see anything, but as of now, I just don't see anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to trade that. We'll see if that changes, but I need to get to this meeting. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm about to shut it on down. As always, if you're going to continue trading, definitely keep your head on a swivel. I don't know what you're trading, large cap, small cap, mid cap, whatever. But we see some of the bigger movers on today. Nvidia, SMCI, all of those are starting to go a little bit red with the market. So maybe that'll be the sentiment of the day. We do have one speech after the market closes. And then we have a FOMC meeting, or not meeting, but FOMC minutes that's going to be coming out. It's kind of like they do a recap of past events. So I don't know how much weight that's going to hold. But anyway, that is it for me today. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.